I thought I would share some of my story. It's been a while, so I thought I would just kind of share for those of you who haven't heard it and want to hear it. It was years ago, 5 or 6. I can never remember exactly. I should look that up because I always say 5 or 6 and I don't exactly remember. But so we were using things in our home. We were married, didn't have kids yet, my husband and I. We were buying our own products. You start to, at some point from when you move out of your parents, you start to think through, what am I using? To some degree, we just kind of start with what we're familiar with. It's amazing if people start asking questions before they move, but for us, it was just, you find this conglomeration, this collaboration of products and foods and things like that both people bring to the table and to the home, and what you're used to and what people, what each other likes and things like that. So I was learning as a wife, I was learning what my husband likes and the smells, and he's very sensitive to smell. And so it was pretty early on that I would hear whether he liked a laundry detergent or dishwasher detergent or soap. Like, he's particular. It's lemon or nothing else from store-bought, because everything would give him headaches, or he would just hate the scent, whatever it was. He was invested in the process. And so I was starting to look into there's only so many scents, and some of them don't come in lemon, the kind you like, so maybe I can make stuff. I was always into saving money, so I just started looking into stuff. At this time, I was also for years of my life, was not a question asker. I was a rule follower. Thank the Lord, at some point, I started really second guessing and really, not doubt, but really wanting to learn for my own, not just repeat things, but really figure out why in all the aspects of my life. And Dane was going through similar process. He's naturally a question asker, so it's always been there for him. But for me, it was this newer way of thinking, just kind of challenging things, and it's really healthy to a certain degree. And so I'm so grateful that he's like that. Even though sometimes I'm like, can't you just do it the way I want you to? Or can't you just do it what I feel is right? But it doesn't work that way. And he's a great match for me. But anyways, so at some point you probably ask, why am I doing what I'm doing? Whether it is your mental health, habits, home, body, anything and everything. We were starting to open that door. And it covered all kinds of different things. Why are we using our time the way we're using? Are we using it? Are we stewarding our money? What's at the heart of all the choices that we're making? So I also started to think on how to prepare my body for whenever we wanted kids. What's our diet like? What is it doing to our body? What's causing inflammation? The products we're using. If there's things under our sink that cannot be there for kids, and we're thinking of, eventually having kids. I love to get ahead of things. I don't like to deal with the aftermath. If I could have prevented it, I would love to. I feel like there's an aspect of wisdom to that way of thinking. Not everyone is like that naturally, but we can all be intentional in that way and change that muscle of thinking and that mentality. So for me, naturally, it's harder to be spontaneous and just go with the flow. But on the strength of that, I'm really good at naturally wanting to get ahead, wanting to plan, and that sort of thing. And so we were just asking all these questions. We had just gotten cats. That doesn't sound important, but it was at the time that my cat was sneezing. So I was trying to figure out, why is she sneezing? And all during this sort of thing, my friend had started talking to me about Young Living. And at first I told her, no, I don't want it. I don't want any of, I don't need the products. We have our budget. We spend, it's a certain amount on what I want to spend. I don't want to do the business. I had already been doing ministry full time at a place I absolutely love, which I still love. And then I was doing photography on the weekends, but I remember I was standing in my closet thinking, I have the capacity for something else. I feel that space. I don't have kids. This would be a great time to start something. You can make anything happen whenever you want to. But I felt that. I felt like an invitation, an internal invitation that I just knew there was something else I could be doing. And I wanted to get ahead again, not just get ahead of the lifestyle, but get ahead of figuring out, this was a goal of mine at the time, figuring out a stream of income that I could transition into while having kids. That's what I thought photography was going to be. But if you are a photographer, you know that, and maybe this doesn't bother you or affect you the way that it did for me, but I was, the more I'd be doing photography, it would take me to a certain degree away from my family. And I didn't want that. Even if it was just a little bit of time, I wanted the freedom to be able to solely work at home, whatever capacity I wanted to, however I wanted to, and not have to go. So the way I liked to do photography was fine. I would like to scout the location so I knew exactly how I was going to shoot, the different lighting and everything. I loved to be really prepared. And so that scouting takes time, practicing your session takes time, editing takes time, which that part you can do at home, but it was the best I had found, but it was not as good as what I later found. And so my friend was talking to me about this. My cat got sick, and not anything like super severe, but it was big in my world. And then I remember being at the vet when I brought him there. He was my baby. Love him, but he's not my baby anymore. I have babies. I love my cats. And he was sick, and the vet was saying all this stuff, and when I'm overwhelmed, I can't compute. I'm like so emotionally overwhelmed and anxious and just want space to process that I was like, I can't make decisions. I didn't have my husband there because he was at work, and it's just overwhelming. And so I thought, I never want to feel this again. If I can change it, I don't want to feel this feeling again. I want to know more about things before I have a kid. I want to be ahead. And so in all of these different areas, I was thinking, these are goals now. Goals to know my body better, to know how to help my little ones better, which I didn't know, I didn't want to just start researching all the illnesses or anything like that, but I just had the desire. And so all of these things together mixed with a past passion. I had worked at this store called The Body Shop. I loved it. I loved retail. I know a lot of people don't like retail, but I loved it. I had like 4 or 5 different retail jobs. This one was probably my favorite. I was there for 4 years, and the new manager basically required me to quit if I wasn't able to give more hours, which is not a thing, but it was happening. And so I had to resign after 4 years of loving that job. I was dealing with skincare and products, and it was just wonderful. I loved it. I loved the psychology of it. I loved being able to help people really feel good about their purchase. And it was a light environment. The business really cared about their products, even though they're not as good as others. They were great for their price point. And they were the best that I knew of. This was another door opening me to this world of, when people are asking about organic products. I had no idea. I was not raised around any of this that I am now. Organic and what foods do to your body and all of that. That's so much newer. Newer to me. That's an after marriage lifestyle change. We shifted everything. I just wasn't raised around that. So anyway, so all of these different points of wanting to change and having a desire to just grow and advance in my knowledge and understanding and productivity, effectiveness. Like I just wanted to advance. I wanted to hit the next level of health and wellness and awareness and connectedness and all of these things that touch different areas. Anyways, and so I just remember realizing this might be the key. I don't even know if essential oils work, which then Dane did all the research of like, these are actually fascinating. There's so much science behind this. It's not it's not just a new age thing or placebo effect. Like, it actually works when you have the right kind and the quality you do with Young Living. There's actual benefit. And so he was fascinated, which just kind of gave me his blessing. And he said, if you want to do this, you can do it. Because when I deeply know, there's like no stopping me, unless he said no, which I'm glad he didn't. But then I'm all in. So she had told me about the business, and that other piece, I knew that I had capacity. I knew that I was trying to find something that I could do with kids. I knew that, I had asked her a million questions. It wasn't that simple, but all of these things had been like a piece to this puzzle. And so I told her, yes. I asked all the questions like, what's the worst that can happen? What if I want to quit? All those things. And so I started this business. I bought my first kit, which I've gotten like 4 cents because they're such a great deal. I bought my starter kit because I asked her, there's so many things. What's the best place to start? What's the best thing to buy to start? And so she told me, and I bought it, and I got my kit, and everything smelled like nothing I'd ever smelled, because essential oils, if you've smelled them, like they're so fresh and they're so real. They're not scents like fragrance and imitations. You can really tell the difference. And I started to learn and grow in that. So anyways, it was just a combination for me. If you have any of those inklings, those just desire to go deeper, I would really encourage you to, whether with this business, these oils, or something else. I feel like we just never know what we're getting ahead of. That was another thing. So many parts of this, because I didn't have kids, so I had so much time to think. But yeah, and just not as busy, obviously. But I was just thinking, as we were talking about this also went into when I was pregnant. I remember making choices and really seeking peace when I was pregnant with Aviana, my first. Just thinking, if I follow peace, if I feel like I'm doing what the Lord is showing me, I do not know what I'm getting ahead of, because only He knows how she's made and how she will be after she's born, and how she is now and what she needs. And so the choices that I made then, I knew might affect her future self, but I might not know it at this time or even then. But if I follow what God is showing me, He's the one that knows. And I also remember, where all of this was going on, I also remember feeling like, and seeing this this drop of water into this pool of water, and the ripples of the ripples in the water, and just feeling like that meant, because this was a big decision for me. I don't just start something. I've been doing this for years. I don't just get in and get out of something. I'm a lifer until the Lord tells me otherwise. I am just a loyal person, and I really question until I know, and then I'm all in. So I ask a million questions until I say yes to anything, and then I give my heart to it. And so I remember, what was I saying? I don't remember where I was going with this. What was I saying about, the ripples. Okay, the ripples in the water. And I remember when I was praying about whether I should do this, praying about oils in general, just what were His thoughts. And I felt like He was showing me that if I do this, I don't know who I will come in contact with that might need something I can offer. If it wasn't me, it would be someone else. But it's such a joy to be a part of someone else's answer. Prayers answered, question answered. It's such a joy to be that bridge or that connection. And so I just remember Him showing me that, and I just thought, that's something I love to do anyways. I loved connecting people with products they loved. I loved the psychology side of things. If these had mental health benefits, my background is in psychology. This ministry that I was working in that I loved so much, and I still love, is psychology. And these could be tools that would unlock something for people. And so I remember, just being aware of my love for helping people, my passion for psychology, my passion for products, my desire for for a growth in knowledge for myself and my family, and all of these things just totally came together. And so anyways, if you have any desire for any bit of it, I would really encourage you to just to one, dive in, but also if it points at all to this lifestyle, it's not a trend. It's been here for years, like since Jesus. So anyways, I just thought I would share my story, and if anyone connects to it, really dig into that and ask questions and start to really challenge. It's very empowering to understand and be connected and present in your choice of why am I using what I'm using? Where does it come from? What is it going to do? What are the side effects? And not just making choices in an anxious, clouded mind. I don't want to just do what other people are doing. I don't want to just do what someone is telling me to do. I want to, because every human is limited in their understanding, knowledge, thinking. I don't even know everything. But if I can really grow my knowledge and my intuition with my children is different than if I'm going to someone who's paid to prescribe something. They're paid based on their knowledge. But if I have my intuition that it's not selfish, or it's just not selfish to want to use your own intuition. I want to have that. I want to have that freedom. I want to be empowered that way. I'm given these children for a reason. I'm given my body, and my husband is in charge of his body and our family for a reason. And so we can learn from people, but I just don't want to be blind and numb and unaware and ignorant in my choices with my family, and my own body. I want to be very aware and very, very sure and have a lot of peace. And so anyways, that's just some of the story. It's the main points that I thought I would share.